I think a good place to start now is let's talk about knowledge management for the uninitiated. What is knowledge management and how do you define that?
What's knowledge management? So I see knowledge management as an area of management that actually plays with three pillars to enable the processes of knowledge. And let me share two images that they don't really are that cool, but they kind of get help to transmit my message. So I always look at knowledge management as something that we can do in organizations to play around with these three pillars: people, processes, and infrastructure. And when I talk about people, I talk about their skills, but also about the culture that people embody in the organization. When I talk about processes, I talk about recruiting, sharing. How do you start a project in your organization? So these things are what I call processes. And the infrastructure, it's not just about the virtual or digital infrastructure, but also room layout, offices or non-offices. So that part of the infrastructure. So knowledge management for me, it's around playing with these three pillars in order to help with these knowledge processes. So to make sure that the organization is able to acquire knowledge, exchange, access, retain, validate, and ultimately use knowledge. And I will not go into too much detail. I think some of them are very explanatory. Two important things for me. One of them is the exchange. Sharing is usually the word which is mostly used in literature. From a personal experience, I worked in an agency of the Department of Health in the UK government, in the British government. And at the time, I was responsible for knowledge management, and I did lots of interviews with people in the organization. And one thing that I found out was that they were very eager to give their knowledge. None of them said, I want to learn more from my colleagues. On the other hand, you have other organizations that where people are very keen to get knowledge and learn from their colleagues, and they don't feel they have anything to give back. So the reason why I use the word exchange instead of sharing is because I think it conveys better, or at least more strongly, this sense of bidirectional flow of knowledge. And the other thing is around this idea of access and retention. And access is about storage, but it's also about being able to retrieve it, and also being able to retain it when people go away from the organization. So these things are probably a little bit more of a personal take on these knowledge processes. So I just wanted to share those with you.